All right, I have one more short one. So this is from my friend Addison back in Visalia. His mom is a nurse of 20 plus years. And so shout out Addison. All right, so this story comes from Addison's mother. She's been a labor and delivery nurse for probably around 20 years. And she would always like tell them horror stories at night. Do you guys know any nurses? Dude, they have gnarly stories. I grew up, my friend's best mom. Nope. One of my good friend's mom. The best one, not the crappy one. Anyway, she was a nurse and she would always tell us like hardcore stories. So she told us one time she was standing in like 2 to 3 inches of blood. She had to jump on this dude's chest and hold his organs into his body while they tried to resuscitate him.
Oh my gosh.
I know. I was like, dude. She said for like 4 hours she had to like hold it.
That's a special like breed of person.
Dude.
To be able to like handle that on a daily basis.
Yeah.
I'm not that breed.
Yeah. I'm not cut from that cloth either.
Anyway, so she would tell these stories. They weren't really the stuff of ghost or horror stories. Instead, they were of childbirth and the many, many things that can go wrong in that process. So she did have one story, however, that isn't easily explained away by biology. Nowadays, hospitals will keep newborns in a room with the mother. This was a long time ago, back when they would keep all the babies in one room, a nursery kind of like how you see in movies. So she often worked the night shift, and one night she only had a couple babies for the night. Many people may not know this, but newborns, then tell me if you guys knew this. Newborns poop will be initially black. Have y'all heard that?
Yeah, I knew that, but that's from personal experience.
I heard like the first couple like bowel movements of a baby are hardcore. Anyway, so the first one or the first couple will be black, and it will be a very thick tar-like consistency. This is because it contains the amniotic fluid, among other things accumulated during the entire gestation period. The black poop doesn't last more than a few bowel movements, and these babies were all past their poop phase, their black poop phase. Anyway. He said, my mom confirmed this during her rounds near the beginning of her shift. Her shift was relatively easy, she said. She got to spend a majority of the time just socializing with the other nurses that she was like tight with, because there's not much to do, you know. It's like the babies are sleeping. They're all past black poop phase, so you're good. You're in the clear. At one point during the night, one of the baby's heartbeat monitors began to read either too high or too low. So she went in there to check, and the sensor had come off the baby. So she reapplied it, turned around, left. Only a few moments later, before she could even get back to her desk, the heartbeat monitor went off again. So she went back to the nursery. It had fallen off, so she reattached it again. And it's like not that common for these things to fall off. So she thought that's kind of weird. She quickly reattached the monitor, and as she's doing that, she feels this insane amount of pressure around her. She said it was like when you dive too deep into water. She was immediately met with a horribly strong smell of feces. She turned around, and the back of the door to the nursery had streaks of the black feces all over it.
Oh.
What?
The only people with access to the nursery are the nurses and the doctors, and they all have specific key cards that allow them in.
Mm-hmm.
She knows none of her coworkers would do this, but regardless, she goes and questions them all. No one fesses. They have no idea how it happened. They clean it up, and they rechecked all the logs and to double check, and all the babies on that log were past like the black poop phase. She said nothing like this has ever happened again, and they never did figure out who did it, but it's nagged her for years now.
That's such a different.
And that's the legend of the black poop.
I've never heard of anything like that before.
Yeah. I get that baby exercised, bro. Like maybe that's what's, I don't know. It's what stands out.
I don't know. When I was reading that, it just creeped me out. Like there is no explanation, and we're assuming that she's not just flat out lying.
Mm-hmm.
Like either a demon did it or a freaking perverted ass nurse or doctor playing a sick joke. Like, you know what I mean? There's no other explanation. I don't know. At least that I can think of.
And it was only with that baby. She's never experienced that with any other baby.
She said
before.
nothing like that has ever happened again.
And they were all supposed to be past the black poop phase. So
Where did it come from?
Where did it go?
Cotton Eye Joe.
I knew it, dude. Inevitable.
What got me though was she only like it was in an instant where she smelt the poop on the door, right? So it was like if someone had smeared it on the door when she wasn't there, she would have. I felt like she would have smelt it.
Right.
But the fact that it came in unison with that feeling of pressure, like
Took a moment
yeah, it was kind of creepy.
yeah.
to stink in.
Oh, gosh
God.
damn.
Sorry.
We've talked about this previously, but I was far too young, and my dad told me that with the presence of demons, you can sometimes detect the smell of sulfur. So at like 8 years old, my ass is in bed, terrified, trying to smell the air and see if there's any sulfur in here. Being like, oh, there's demons in my room. Bro, so yeah, like, I don't know. The smell connected with like weirdness to me, it like triggered me when I read this story.
Yeah. You also hear about like strong, like putrid smells, like in the forest when there's like an experience with, I don't know, a skinwalker or a gate or Bigfoot, something like that. I don't know.
Oh,
No bueno.
dang.